Okay, so good afternoon, grade 6 section, grade 6/1 of Anubansong Det Pravanerat School. So my name is Teacher Marco, and I am very happy and delighted seeing you all today in our Zoom class. Today we have Teacher Golf. Hello, Teacher Golf. Good afternoon.
Hi, teacher.
Okay, good afternoon, students. I hope you all are safe. You all are had your lunch, and I hope that you are having a great day. So today we have a brand new lesson, and I want you to get your health book and open to page 34.
เปิดหน้าที่34นะคะ บทที่3ค่ะ หนังสือ Health
So before anything else, I want you to open your book to page 34, and our topic for today is about environment. So let's start our class with this question. So whenever you heard the word environment, what comes to your mind? So aside from the definition given by the book, or aside from the definition in your book, what can you say about environment? So what do you think is the meaning or definition of environment? Anyone from the class? So what?
Environment แปลว่า ใครรู้บ้างจ๊ะ
Anyone from the class, aside from the definition in the book, what do you think is the meaning of environment? Okay, so I will read it first before you answer. Okay, so you're gonna have an idea. So when we say environment, the environment plays a major role in our daily lives. If we live in a good environment, such as the area with clean air and clean water resources for consumption, our health will be good. Therefore, we should be aware of protecting of our environment. So meaning to say, when we say environment, it is where we live, it is where we eat, this is where we play. So meaning to say, it is our home. So what is our home? So our environment is, or our home is earth. So we should take good care of our environment. So that is the brief definition of environment. So it is where we live, it is where we have life. So it is our lives. So aside from the excuse me, aside from the definition of that we have in our books, so what do you think is environment? Anyone?
Nature.
Nature, very good guy. It is a nature. How about Omi? Environment. What can you say about environment?
A place that we live in.
Okay, very good. It is a place. Therefore, the environment that we are now is our home. So when we say environment, is the place we live in. So we live in an earth. So they said that we should be aware of protecting our environment. So what do you think we should do, or we should not do in our environment? Let's have first what we should do in our environment. What are the things that we should do in our environment? We are talking about protecting our home, our environment. Okay, what do you think we should do or we should not do in our environment?
We should not throw garbage in river.
Okay, we should not throw garbage in anywhere. Okay, so we have a specific place for the garbage. Very good, Ami. How about the others? So what are the things that we should do in our environment or we should not do? So we are now living in an environment that has a lot of problems. So have you ever saw or have you ever uh, uh, have you ever see a news about environment? Environment issues are very rampant nowadays. There's a lot of problems in our environment, and we should consider this We should that's why we should protect our environment. So what are the things that we should do or we should not do? Aside from not throwing the garbage anywhere, we should what? Rain, what we should do or we should not do? Okay. So there's a lot of things to consider when we are talking about environment. So we should do aside from we should care about it. So we should be responsible in everything that we do because as I said earlier, environment is our home. So it is we are talking about the mother earth, okay? The earth. So let's have the environmental problems. So it is very rampant in today's generation, the environmental problems. So we have a lot of environmental problems that we are facing right now, or we have been facing for how many years? So it's been years since we are facing an environmental problem. So environmental problems have negative effects on public health. The causes and consequences of these problems are provided in the table below. Before we proceed that, I wanna ask you, or can someone give me one of the biggest problem in one of the biggest problems of our environment that we are facing right now? What are the problems that we are facing in our environment? What are the things that we are facing right now in our environment? Grade 6. Hey!
The
Ami?
tree is decreased.
Hmm?
We have the less tree.
Yes, today we have less tree than before. Very good, Omi. Aside from that,
Bad air.
bad air, very good. We have bad air, polluted air. Aside from that, thank you. How about the others? So those are the example of environmental problems. So it's been years since we faced the environment, since we have these problems that we are facing right now. So as a global citizen, as a citizen of the earth and the world, we should do good things about the environment. So today we are going to learn about some of the problems that our environment been facing. So let's have your book. So open now your book to page 35.
ให้ทุกคนลองดูปัญหาเกี่ยวกับสิ่งแวดล้อมในหน้าที่35นะคะว่ามีอะไรบ้างนะคะ
So Omi, can you read number 1? What is the first environmental problem that we have today?
Garbage.
Okay, so we have garbage. So here we have the causes. So can you please read the causes? Landfills. One more, go.
Landfills near residential
areas. Inappropriate disposal methods. Okay, thank you. So let's have first the landfills near residential areas. So these are the when we say landfills, these are the where we are throwing our garbage. So second one, we have inappropriate disposal methods. Let's focus with inappropriate disposal methods. So here in Thailand, we are blessed that we have a garbage collector that collecting our garbage. But however, we should abide the rules. We should put our garbage in their specific areas. So we have a specific area where we can put our garbage, our trash, or anything that is not dirty. So here in Samchuk, I can see we have one here, and I can see like every 2 days they are collecting the garbage. So as a global citizen, we we should put our garbage, and we should be aware in everything that we throw in our environment. So we have a specific place where we can put our garbage. Like for example, in our school, so we have garbage there. So for example, did you you have your classmate just throw his or her trash in beside him or beside her? What will you do? Or what are you going to, as a student, what are you going to do when you see your classmate doing that?
Tell classmates do not do that.
And
you should put it on the trash.
yeah, so we should put it in the trash. So do you know the 3 R's? The recycle, reduce, and what is the other R? Recycle, reduce, and reuse. So these are the 3 R's of environment. So when we say recycle, so if you have something that can be recycled to become another thing and to become helpful, I mean, for example, out of this bottle, what we can do about this bottle? So we have a lot of things we can do about this empty bottle. So that is recycling or recycle. So next we have reduce. So the second R is reduce. So for example, reduce using your electricity, reduce or reduce using a lot of paper. So that is the meaning of reduce. So lastly, the reuse. So reuse, if you have a thing that can be reused, can be used it again. So you should use it again. That's how we. That's very important for us to decrease the garbage that we could have. So these are the 3 R's of the environment: reduce, reuse, and recycle. So when we say again, when we say inappropriate disposal method, so we have different types of trash can in our school. Am I right? The garbage for plastic, the trash for plastic, the trash for paper, the trash for what, how do you call that? Like a dye trash that we can put there. So what do you think is the reason we have this kind of trash? We have different kinds of trash can. We have 3. Why do we have that? What do you think? Grade 6.
อื่นลองตอบบ้างสิคะ หนูคิดว่าไง
Why our school has it? We have 3 different kinds of trash can. So we should segregate the trash. So as I said earlier, we have 3 R's. So that's why we have that, so that we can apply the 3 R's of the environment. So the bio-non-degradable and the degradable. So these are we should separate these things, this trash for the recycling, for the reuse, and for the things that can be used it again. So that is the vision of our school of the environmental warriors, why we should have these kind of trash cans. So next, so the consequences we have here: habitats for animals and insect pets which spread harmful bacteria and diseases. So we should that's one of the consequence when we have inappropriate garbage or disposal methods. So it can be the house of bacteria, or you can see a lot of insect and pets there, like rat, flies, mosquitoes. So these are one of the these are some of the things that you can get from having these inappropriate disposal methods, or from having the garbage itself. So we already know that garbage is very dirty. So there is no good. I mean, it's very it's very harmful when we have these, when you are not doing the appropriate things for your garbage. So that is the consequence, the habitats for animals. So when we say habitats, they can live there. That is their home. Teacher?
Yes, teacher.
Okay. Okay,
Again.
so we have number 2. So Guy, can you please read number 2 causes? We have, teacher, can you please tell the students to open their cameras? I'm not familiar with them.
ทุกคนเปิดกล้องค่ะ
Teacher, can I read now?
Yes, number 2, please, Guy.
Polluted soil.
Okay.
Excessive use of chemical fertilizer and pesticides contaminate groundwater. Hazardous wastes buried in the soil.
Very good. So number 2, we have polluted soil. So the causes are excessive use of chemical fertilizers and pesticides. So when we say fertilizer, these are the things that the gardeners using for your plants. So it is chemical. So always remember that chemical has no good. So when you everything that you are using a lot more usage of fertilizers, the more chemical that the soil could get. Next, we have the pesticide. So the pesticide, those are the sprays that we are seeing when there is flies or the spray, something like that. So that is the pesticide. So contaminated groundwater. So we have a lot things that we have a lot things why we have the reason why we have contaminated water, such as from the from the machines that uh, the what do you call that? So contaminated water, a lot of things. The reason we have a lot of reason why we have contaminated nowadays because of the of the factories that been using chemicals and they just throwing it in the oceans in nearest they don't have appropriate disposal methods. So this is one of the reason why we have contaminated water. So next we have a hazardous waste buried in the soil. So I think this is what hazardous waste buried in the soil. I think that is being lazy as when we are throwing things, because if you think you need think you're not using it anymore, when you have a thing that you are using anymore, even it's hazardous, you just throw it in your trash cans, you just throw it anywhere you want. So that's why we have the hazardous waste in the soil, because some of the people here some of the people in the world just throwing the hazard if they have they don't have proper waste management. They just throw it. Like for example, the factories that been using chemicals, they just throw it anywhere they want. They don't care about the environment itself. So the tendency we have that's why we have these environmental problems because of its people. So always be mindful in everything that we are doing about our environment, because always remember that environment can live with can environment can live with itself, but we people we cannot live without our environment. Did you get it? The the earth can live without people, but people cannot live without earth, because earth is our environment, it's our home. So whether you like it or not, we should care about our environment because it is our home, because environment can live with itself. I mean, it can live alone, but we people we cannot live without our environment. So that's the reason why we should care about of our environment. We should care about our mother nature. Okay, so let's have the consequences. So contaminants, bacteria, and chemical release to water resources. So as you can see, we have a lot of news about the contaminated water in the world, generally in the world, not just here in Thailand, but in the world. So this is the consequences of excessive use of chemicals. So we could have this contaminated water. So do you want to drink a contaminated water in the near future? It's very harmful. No, no one would want to drink a contaminated water. It might kill people. So always remember of the things that we are doing about our environment. So now let's have number 3. Who can read? Number 3. Rain, read number 3. Rain, read number 3.
Polluted water.
Okay.
Inappropriated disposal of human waste into water resources. Contamination of water resource by toxic substances in the soil and polluted air.
Mhm.
Wastewater from houses, factories, and
Agriculture.
agriculture.
Okay, so these are the 3 causes of polluted water. Okay, let's have first the inappropriate disposal of human waste into water resources. So that when we are that is the sink in our house, the sink in our house. So when we are the human waste, so the human waste, the poop itself. So the poop itself. So sorry for the word. So that's it. So the human waste, but not just about our poop, but general waste of people. So we don't have. So what this is one of the reason why we have polluted water, because of the we don't have proper disposal management, or we don't have proper trash cans for our waste. So that is one. So number 2, contamination of water resources by toxic substances in the soil and polluted air. So this is what I'm talking about. The fertilizers that the some of the people been using, or the manufacturers or the factories, the chemical that they are producing, and they just throw it in the ocean, in the rivers, in wherever they want to. So this is very alarming, because in the near future we could drink we will drink contaminated water, and it's very dangerous and very harmful for people. So since we are not facing right now, we still have chance to do the right thing, to do the things that can prevent this pollution. So please, you should take your part. You should be in part of the change. So lastly, we have the wastewater from houses, factories, and agriculture. So the same thing that I've been talking about, telling you a while ago, the factories, the agricultures, that if they don't have proper management of their waste, we could have these problems. But not just the factories, that us as a people. So we should do our thing also. So always be uh always be mindful of everything that we are doing. So just throw by the simple means. Let's start with ourselves. Just throw our trash or our garbage to the right place, the trash cans we have in our house. Clean our house, clean our environment. I mean, clean your house with that. With by the simple thing that we are doing, we could be part of the change. So just clean your house, just wash whatever dirt that you have. What if you see some dirt in your house, just clean. So that is very simple, and it's very helpful to our environment. Okay, so the consequences of these three causes is this: contaminated water resources that can spread diseases. So since we have contaminated water, so if we already, if we, let's say we have contaminated water. So we all know that contaminated is from the word itself, contaminated, meaning to say it's dirty. So it is now the habitat of mosquitoes. So they can live there, bacteria can live there. So generally it's very dirty. So do you want to drink the water from do you want to drink a contaminated water? Do you want to drink it? What we should do to prevent contaminated water? What are the thing you can do to prevent contaminated water? What do you think we should do? Look at the picture. What are the what is the simple thing we can do to prevent contaminated water?
We should not throw trash in the water.
Wow, very good, guy. We should not do that. Very good. Aside from that, okay, for example, you pailila, you go on vacation, you go to the vacation. So you see some trash in the oceans. What will you do? So you should get it and put it into the right trash can. That is simple. Okay, next we have polluted air. So these are the causes: hazardous smoke released from the factories, excessive dust in the air, toxic gases from burning materials such as garbage. So this is very alarming, and a lot of things, a lot of factories been doing this. They don't have they've been releasing smoke in the air. That's why we have polluted air. So the consequence of this is we have toxic air condition, polluted particles, low visibility. So whenever you woke up in the morning, you like it's blurry, right? It's like a fog, but you know what? It's not normal. It is the air pollution. The air is polluted. So it is from the it is from the smoke of the factories. It is from the car. It is from the garbage that they are burning. So that's the reason why we have pollution. So we have air polluted. So whenever you see someone doing like burning garbage, that smoke is going to the air, and now the air is now polluted. So that's why we have the proper waste. We have the trash can, so we can separate those trash. So when they are burning, it's not that hazardous. So last but not the least is the noise pollution. So causes are excessive noise from machines such as drillers and bulldozers, loud noise from automobiles or automobiles and modified vehicles, exhaust system or stereos, noise from construction sites such as rock explosions. So I think this is very common. You can see it in your daily life. So whenever you go somewhere, there is a construction site. So it is one of the contributors of noise pollution, but not just them. As a people, we are the contributors of this. I mean, we are part of the contributors of the pollution that we've been facing. So since we are the reason why we have these pollution, so yes, we are also the solution. We are the problem of the environmental. We have the problem, so we are the solution also. So these are the things that we should not do. I mean, we should not, generally speaking, we have a lot of things to do, but let's start with ourselves for us to prevent these problems in the near future. So it is very important to know the things that we should do and we should not do in our environment. So with that being that, having that said, what do you think is the thing that what can you do about in our environment to prevent these pollutions? What do you think? What are the things you can do, or if you have things you can do, it's okay. That's very good. But also give me one. What are the things you can do aside from cleaning cleaning your surroundings, cleaning of what? So we have a lot of things that we can do. So let's start from the smallest thing always back. For example, since it's back to school, hopefully we have back to school. So we have the recycled notebooks, the recycled paper. So that is one that you should buy. The recycled books, even I think it's more expensive than the usual, but that's very good because you are buying recycled good stuff. So since it's back to school, you try to buy that so you can be in part of the solution, of taking good of our environment. So have you ever experienced, have you ever heard the word climate change? Climate change. Do you know that?
Yes.
Yes. So the climate change is a changing climate. For example, this month should be raining, but it's not. For example, yesterday it's sunny, today is raining, tomorrow is sunny again. So that is the climate change because our Mother Earth it's been suffering of the environmental problems. Therefore, we have this climate change. So who are going to suffer? As people, since we are not taking care of our environment, so we will suffer in the end. So always remember that. So any questions so far? Basic questions, or do you want me to ask you? So that's it. There you have it. That is our lesson for today. It's about environment. So whenever you see someone doing bad about doing, for example, in the school, so tell them or just help them to understand why we shouldn't care of our environment. Okay, I hope you learned something from today's discussion about environment and environmental problems, and I hope that we could. I can explain it more in personal, and I am wishing to have to be COVID free. I mean, the world become COVID free for us to have a face-to-face class, so we could have more time. So that's it. There you have it, and I think it's time, and I hope you learned something from today's discussion. Thank you for listening, and I hope you can be part, or you can be in part of the change, because we can do it. So my name is Teacher Marco. Have a great day, and don't forget to smile. See you again in our next Zoom class. Thank you, students. Thank you, Teacher Golf. See you again. Bye-bye.
You finish?
Bye.
Yes, teacher.
ทุกคนเราจะเข้ามาใหม่ไหมคะจะให้ครูสรุปให้ไหมหรือจะรอเรียนวิชา English ที่สอนเสร็จแล้วทุกคนมีคำถามไหมคะ
ไม่มีครับ
คนอื่น